Greetings, film freaks. We are the Podcorn Kernels. Join us as we discuss the hard and often indigestible truths that are at the center of the fluffy and delicious world of cinema. Season 2.
What's poppin', people? Welcome to the Podcorn Kernels podcast. My name is Adam, and joining me in your earholes is Harry. Say hello, Harry.
Head down to your local electrical store to pick up our new LB Jeffries edition non-glare, non-reflective binoculars. You can learn everything she does and loves before you decide to knock on that door and drop your drawers.
On today's episode, we will be talking about Rear Window. This is a 1954 film directed by Alfred Hitchcock and stars James Stewart, Grace Kelly and Wendell Corey. IMDb describes the synopsis as follows. A wheelchair-bound photographer spies on his neighbours from his apartment window. Despite the scepticism of his fashion model girlfriend, he becomes convinced one of them has committed murder. Here is an original song to support the synopsis.
A wheelchair-bound observer, photographer of inertia, makes his window the stage and his neighbours the play. In the heat of the evening, a scream did fright, giving way to the rain and the cover of the night. Paranoia starts to grow and LB Jeffries thinks he knows what's happened and who's died. And look, I'm telling you, there's been a crime, and that's your guy. The truth will out if LB Jeffries has anything to do with it. The truth will out, the truth will out. He's watching you.
Let's start with some facts about the film. According to Georgine Darcy, the man and woman on the fire escape struggling to get out of the rain was based on a prank by Sir Alfred Hitchcock. Each actor and actress in the apartment complex facing Jeff's rear window wore an earpiece through which they could receive Hitchcock's directions.
Dirt.
Hitchcock told the man to pull the mattress in one direction and told the woman to pull in the opposite direction. Unaware they had received conflicting directions, the couple began to fight and struggle to get the mattress inside once the crew began filming.
Well, that was real?
Yep. The resulting mayhem, in which one of the couple is tossed inside the window with the mattress, provided humour and a sense of authenticity, which Hitchcock liked. He was so pleased with the result that he did not order another take.
I think he's an antagonist, and I think he's supporting domestic violence.
I think he is a brilliant bully.
Yeah.
Yep. Telling two actors, do this. Telling one to do one thing, the other to do the other. And then what you see on screen is a perceived lover's tiff. And it works so well because those two actors are actually kicking off.
I didn't see it like that. It really looked staged to me, so that's kind of impressive. But maybe that's that 1954 lens. Everything looks a bit stagey, doesn't it?
It is, yeah. It's glamorous, it's stagey, it's OTT, it's all of these wonderful things. I just love that, like, one of the founding dogs of directing is like, I'm a play a prank. I'm going to do a trick. Way back then, he's going to be like, you know what, I'm going to make today a little bit more exciting. I'm going to tell him to do one thing. I'm going to tell her to do another thing. I'm going to see what happens.
I can imagine him chuckling with his cigar.
Yeah.
Just sitting there, taking pleasure in that discord.
The guy is a dog.
Yeah.
He is. There's no doubt in that he was quite a dark dude. Did you know that when he was a child, his dad used to put him in a prison cell for like extended periods of time?
What?
Yeah.
What would you mean a prison cell?
Like, I don't know the specifics. Apparently, Daddy Hitchcock had access to a prison cell and would put young Alfred in there.
What, he'd drive him to Rikers Island, just throw him in a cell?
Either that or there was one in his home somewhere. He had an ensuite prison cell or something. He had access to a prison cell and would put young Alfred in that prison cell, and that's apparently where he spawned that love of sort of darkness, that human psyche, that struggle.
Can I ask a question?
You can. I might not have the answer.
Was his dad a prison guard and he just needed to take his kid to work?
Before mentioning this fact, that little side fact within the facts, I wish I'd done my research. I have no idea.
Maybe one day we'll know.
Maybe one day we will know. I mean, the information's probably out there, and I probably should have read up on it before deciding to share that with the group.
Oh, his dad was old school, huh?
He was, huh? By most accounts, everyone was crazy about Grace Kelly. According to James Stewart, and I quote, "Everybody just sat around and waited for her to come in the morning so we could just look at her. She was so kind to everybody, so considerate, just great, and so beautiful." Stewart also praised her instinctive acting ability and her complete understanding of the way motion picture acting is carried out.
Come in the morning? Is that what you...
Just arrive in the morning.
Oh.
Not...
They
You took it sexual.
They should have phrased it as arrived on set in the morning. Everyone
Okay.
waited for her to arrive on set in the morning.
I mean, yes, if you broke it down, waiting for her to come in the morning, you could go the dirty route.
It just sounds weird. I'm not going dirty. I found that it didn't sound correct
But,
to these delicate ears.
well, that statement to this delicate society nowadays, I don't think an actor could come out and say that now.
What, come in the morning?
Well, come in the morning, or like how beautiful she is.
No, because this film's from 1954 anyway.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of female stereotypes within the film itself. Apart from Stella, the character Stella is unique because all the other women in it are portrayed as, nagging housewife,
Yep.
overbearing wife, and sexualized Miss Torso.
Yeah.
Lisa included. Grace Kelly's character. I see your point. I don't think, you couldn't just point out that she was good looking and say everyone was looking forward to her to come set. But that's sad because obviously he points out that she can actually understands motion pictures. She's great, really strong presence on set and stuff. So there was other compliments in there, not just how much Adonis she was.
I mean, Grace Kelly is a beautiful woman. It's marked as red. She's a beautiful human. Let's not get it twisted. And, James Stewart has said lots of lovely things about her. But the fact that if someone said that to me, Adam, when you come into work in the morning, like I'm just so happy to see you. You're so beautiful. I'd be like, oh my God, I could die now. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. But it's all about perspective, isn't it? The male guys and the female guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Rear Window is included among the 1001 movies you must see before you die, edited by Steven Schneider. Schneider!
Yeah.
Gonna be.
Always.
At least 5 Hitchcock films in there, I'd say. Probably more.
I wouldn't be surprised. He was a bit of a trailblazer for thrillers, wasn't he? He sort of headed that up.
I'd say all of the films that I've seen of Hitchcock, and there's probably between 5 and 10 of them now, I would say 90% of them deserve a spot in Schneider's list.
Which ones have you seen?
I've seen Beyond Reasonable Doubt,
Wow.
The Birds, Vertigo, Psycho.
I've only seen 3.
Rear Window.
Yeah, you've seen more than me now. I've seen Rear Window only recently, obviously in the last week or two. Psycho and The Birds, that's all I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who is there for thrillers, as someone whose favourite facet of film is the psychological thriller, he's like the granddaddy for me.
Yeah.
Like to see, I mean, I loved other directors like your David Finchers, like your Tarantinos, like your Denis Villeneuve. I loved all of these directors before really knowing Alfred Hitchcock, but you can't love those directors without watching a Hitchcock film and go, this is like thriller origin.
I take pure enjoyment from watching his films as well. Like I never sit down thinking this is going to be boring.
Never.
It never is. There's always something going for it. It's either a reveal that you have to see through to the end. It's either the scare factor or there's the psychology part about, is it paranoia or is it... And I love that. I think that's, considering when he started out, it's amazing that he's got still highly entertaining movies.
For me, the man
70 years old.
Yeah, the man operated in the future. Like the things that he was doing on film. And I listen, this is from someone who doesn't have a vast knowledge of films from that era, from films prior to sort of 80s.
Are you getting
90s.
there, Lo?
I'm building up my backlog, and I'm quite proud of myself for that. But just the themes at play, the sort of deep dives into the human psyche, the things that he's able to purvey on camera are always very, very impressive.
Yep.
What did you like about Rear Window?
Exploring the ethical implications of voyeurism. But if it solves a murder, does that not justify watching people undress? Does it not?
I think, yeah. If you're solving a murder and you happenstance see some nudity, it's just an added bonus, isn't it?
What if there was never a murder and you didn't solve it? Then what? Then are you just a dirty old man?
Then you're just a peeping Tom. You're a Percy Perv. There has to be a reason behind it.
Obviously, old Jeffers in this, that's not his goal. It's
No.
not. It's not to whack off to free nudity.
Yeah.
But obviously, it could be misconstrued as that. Yeah, Peeping Tom, that must have been prolific in the 50s.
Well, yeah. I mean, the pornography wasn't really a thing, but sexual drive was.
Oh.
Urges was.
Yeah.
The pincus is still active.
Pincus?
The wanting to whack the winkus is still there, just because the accessibility isn't. Like, I often think about that. Like, back in the day, like, you'd have to keep to the tradition of meeting someone and then getting married and then, like, having a sort of sexual relationship after the fact.
Yeah.
It was really judged on being and looked down on if you was to be promiscuous or sleep around. So what are you going to do?
So Peeping Tom was the trailer to the film they wanted to go and see.
Yeah.
Eventually. But I see that as the core message in the film, the voyeurism aspect. You know, is it wrong to look at people, and not just nudity, to just look in on their lives?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that this film was made in 54 and that sort of, that is still prevalent today but today it's like reality television, you know, it's Big Brother, it's Love Island, it's all those things. The fact that it's always been that very human thing of being curious to a point of being nosy, wanting to look, what's that like, you know, I live amongst some really arsehole neighbours, and if it's kicking off somewhere, I'm at the window, I'm looking out, and that's not a conscious decision. As soon as I hear people kicking off, next thing I know, I'm peeking out my window, seeing what I can see. And I think the whole film speaks to that very humane sort of default setting of nosiness.
Yeah. I don't think he's immoral either, because, you know, he's wheelchair bound. There's not even a television. I don't think TV sets were the thing in 54. It'd be very rare to have had one yourself, most likely. So, you know, he's wheelchair bound, depressed, and he's got this huge window that looks on apartments. You're gonna look.
And in defence of old LB Jeffries, there's a lot going on in those fucking windows.
Loads.
It's better than probably what's on television, because it's not reality of dumb people. It's just everyday, normal reality of people getting on. It's just an added bonus that a couple of his neighbours are stone cold stunners.
And dog basket elevator.
Yeah.
Domestics.
Yeah.
Suicides.
Yep.
Attempts.
It's all happening.
Helicopters.
Yeah.
Playmobil helicopters.
Yeah. I mean,
so much going on.
How could you not look out the window with all that stuff going on?
I know, and it was in that time where people were a bit more connected. You were more interested in other people's lives. You didn't live in this little glass case of emotion with a mobile phone.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about it on the podcast before. We spend most of our lives in Britain anyway, pretending that no one else exists.
I don't want others to exist.
No, not near me.
No.
If I could have like a 5-metre bubble, like COVID, just everyone staying the fuck away from me, I'd be more than happy.
Born, live and die away from me, please.
Yes.
Second, like, Hitchcock is the simmer king. I love how the paranoia and theory builds and builds. And because a woman does leave Thorwald's apartment at 6 a.m. So in the film, Jeffries hears a scream, and then a bit of rain comes in, doesn't he? And then he notices this woman who's been bedbound and ill across the street is no longer in her bed. And he starts tying together in his mind like a theory. But we, the audience, see a woman does leave the apartment at 6 a.m. So what Hitchcock does there is he divides opinion. You could be like, well, is Jeffries paranoid? Is the scary story his paranoia? Or did this guy actually kill someone? And I found that brilliant, because as an audience, we don't know if L.B. Jeffries is assuming everything or if he's onto something.
Yeah.
And to add to that really clever side narrative, much later on in the film, there's a character across the street called Miss Lonely Hearts, and she's clearly becoming suicidal. And I thought that was going to be a message about the real issue, that you needed your attention has been lost on you.
Yes.
The real victim here is a woman who's going to die. And this is what definitely intentional. It has to be from Hitchcock.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely has to be. And that made me think of a great line from Jurassic Park. He was so preoccupied with whether they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. I liked that.
I mean, if man pond a table across from me can throw in a Jurassic Park reference, I am here for it every single fucking day of the
Your
week.
Neanderthal talk kills me.
But yeah, it's that, and every single Hitchcock film has got those layers. That's why people study the man like he is a god of filmmaking, because each one of them have layers. His characters are always so interesting. And it's just that you're drawn to what Jeffries is drawn to, the very attractive woman, the domestic that's happening, almost ignores the fact that just below is a very depressed, very sad, very lonely woman about to take her own life because she's struggling so much.
He does it in Psycho as well. Norman Bates' mum. The audience don't actually know if she is alive or not.
Yeah.
Because you do see silhouettes at the window and stuff. So he likes the audience to never know the finality of it. What's the final? What's the truth?
It's exactly that. And one of the film's biggest strengths for me is that for the majority of the runtime, you're like, I don't know, like it could be Jeffrey's just gone a bit stir crazy. It could be him just being cooped up and becoming obsessed with watching these people like his everyday TV program viewings. It could just be that. It could be the isolation that sent him a bit mad, or there's actually wrongdoings. There's actually murders involved.
I'm going to call him Two-Road Hitchcock.
Do it.
So Shyamalan does twists. Michael Bay does explosions. J.J. Abrams copies. But Hitchcock, two roads. Because you can be on either road for almost all the film.
Or Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, like I messaged you. I was like, I figured it out. I got a theory.
Yeah.
And my theory was that Lisa, who's Grace Kelly's character, isn't it? That she's actually a thief. Because there's a moment where she says, did your copper friend think that my silk shoes and that were stolen? And he says no. And then when they look in her purse to get her bail, she's got 50 cents. And she was very apt at getting into Thorwald's apartment, the guy who's suspected of murdering his wife. She was very apt at getting in there, and she went straight for the jewelry and stuff. I thought, oh my God, was she the woman in black that left the apartment at 6 a.m?
Oh.
Yeah, I know. And that's Hitchcock, though.
That would be
I found a
Hitchcock.
third road.
Yeah.
And I think he was only intending to.
Yeah,
I should probably go doctor. I might have had mild stroke.
Yeah, I mean, you should probably get that looked at first and foremost, but do it after the episode because people listen.
Yeah. Third, this one, I really wanted this. So cozying down near an open window on a summer's evening after lobster wine dinner, sleepover in summer to spy on dodgy neighbours sounds like the best date night ever. I felt seduced.
Yeah.
You know when she's laying on the window bench in her big dress with pillows and they're just drinking wine and it's like cold, it's like rainy outside on a summer's evening. I was just like, this is so cozy.
Yeah.
I was really into it. I had to stop, go make a cup of tea and a biscuit, and I had to sit down and take it all in. Really enjoyed that moment. One of my biggest likes of the film was Thelma Ritter as Stella, because she really stood out from everyone. You know, everyone in this film, I think I said to you, they're one stage away from being Fremen.
Yes.
They've got the bluest eyes.
Yes.
All of them in it. The copper, ridiculous eyes.
Yeah.
Grace Kelly, ridiculous eyes.
I drown in
Stewart,
those ocean
ridiculous.
eyes.
But
Yeah.
Thelma Ritter, the minute she enters the scene, she's this very busy, astute, hard-working woman who's full of knowledge, full of wise words. And I found her really captivating. Every time she was in the scene, I really enjoyed her. I thought she was excellent. Most realistic in her performance and dialogue.
Yeah.
I was drawn to her. And she's my favourite of the performances. Even though all the others are great, her one could be put into today's films.
Yeah.
Whereas all the others couldn't.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like you, I think all the performances are of their time and are great. They've all got their strengths. But Thelma Ritter as Stella is not as glamorous. It's not as polished as everyone else.
And not a stereotype either.
No, not a stereotype, not polished, not, there was no sense that like she was an actor reading dialogue. She felt very natural. And in this era of film, I don't think that's the normal thing. I think it's all more often than not is over the top.
Do you know why I think that worked? She kept her hands busy and her feet busy while she was delivering her dialogue.
Yeah.
I think in the old films, like if you watch Jimmy Stewart in this and Grace Kelly and stuff, all their lines are delivered almost from a completely static standing point or sitting point. Whereas Thelma Ritter's moving her hands, puffing up a bed, giving him a massage stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to deliver your lines when you're doing a realistic life action. And that's why I think I was drawn to her.
Yeah, I think it probably aids in that realism as well, because you think when you're having a conversation in every day, normally you're doing it while you're having that conversation whilst doing something, whether it's making dinner, tidying up, whatever it may be. Yeah. But yeah, no, she was definitely top tier performer in this for me as well.
Tell me what you liked.
I will tell you what I liked. Alfred Hitchcock.
All right, mate. Two-road Alfred Hitchcock.
I still like Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Alfred's Hitchcock.
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay.
Yeah, him. The master of mystery, the founding father of thrillers, the sugar daddy of suspense, the teacher of tension. I have yet to see a film by Mr. Hitchcock that hasn't blown my bloody socks off. The man was so ahead of his time, and I am always amazed at how advanced Alfred was. Rear Window is a timeless thriller that takes a vivid and vibrant view of voyeurism, and I for one loved how, way back in 1954, Alfred Hitchcock tapped into the fact that humans, as a species, are inherently curious and nosy.
Yes.
And it's all of that for me. Every single one of these films that I've watched, I've just been blown away. I'm like, how are you there? How are you there? Like now? Like, how are you there then even? And I'm like, this film's 50, 60, 70 years old, however old it is. And you're really sort of holding a magnifying glass up to how we as a species are inherently nosy, not curious, nosy. How we are much more thrilled by drama than just mundanity. And it's all of those things. Like the couple in this, L.B. Jeffries and Lisa Fremont, played by James Stewart and Grace Kelly respectively, they're sort of at a crossroads of their relationships where he almost thinks that she's too good for him. And
she is.
And she's thinking like, oh, I can't win with this guy. And they're brought closer by the thought of scandal. They're at their highest point in their relationship where they're doing this really risky, adrenaline-fueled detective work.
Well, she's got something to prove, isn't she?
Exactly.
So her getting involved in this peeping Tom activity and then like climbing a ladder to get into a guy's apartment stuff, like it's proving to him that she can go to a war-torn Pakistan and eat fish heads.
Exactly. And that was one of his big problems with her, is you're too glam. You're too glam for man. I need someone who's willing to roll up their sleeves and get dirty with it.
Man's a fool.
Yeah.
He's already salt and peppering in the film. He's already aging.
Yeah.
She's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. You lucky man.
Get your shit together, Stuart.
But it's that. It's
blaming the actor.
It's
Jimmy.
It's the subject matter. It's what Hitchcock explores. And there was something that happened in my own personal life recently. We were woken up, my partner and I, about 7:30 in the morning, a random weekend a couple of weeks back. And two of our neighbours were kicking off, shouting. And it normally takes a lot for my other half to stir, especially on a day off. She'll just lie on her phone, take a while to get up. She heard this shouting, she heard this screaming. She was up by the window.
Two neighbours, two houses fighting each other.
No, just a couple from the same home kicking
domestic.
off. Yeah, domestic. So she's gone out. She's having a little peek, having a little listen. I've gone made a coffee, come back in, and I've gone to her. You love it, didn't you? She turned around and she went, I fucking do. And then we stood there. We proceeded to stand there behind the curtains, absorbing all of it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a conscious decision. And that's what Hitchcock was saying in this film, even 60, 70 years ago. That it's like, if there is drama, we're going to be drama llamas. We're going to be addicted to it. We're going to be looking at it. We're going to be enthralled by it. We're not going to take much more of a strong person to be like, that doesn't concern me. I'm going to carry on about my day. That's not my business. Or this could be real danger here. I'm going to immediately alert the services. Normally what we'll do is we'll hide behind that curtain. We'll hide behind that window. We'll use binoculars. We'll watch. We'll see what's happening.
It's in our DNA. It's got to be.
Yeah.
There would have been a point hundreds of years ago where the only entertainment was watching your neighbour's house burn down. Like, that would have been the case.
I mean, newsflash, that would be the best entertainment for me if my neighbour's house was burning down right now.
Yeah, they'd all come outside, they'd sit around it and watch it, and it would be the event of the month.
For new listeners, if you don't know, I absolutely detest my neighbours, and tune into previous episodes. There's been so many where I slander them that you'll know why I'm saying this.
Slander? I think threatening to cause physical harm is probably the higher charge than slander.
They deserve it.
Yes.
I also love that this film is just tense, taut and terrifically paced. Rear Window spends little time in exposition and puts the audience almost immediately into the situation of a forced-to-stay-at-home photographer. You get a great sense of mood and atmosphere from the very first scene, and the way the story builds to show a plot from a planted perspective was something that really impressed me. I had a great time deciding whether or not L.B. Jeffries was a bored fantasist or was onto something seriously sinister.
Yeah.
And the film had me in the palm of its hand for the entirety of the runtime. Now, just to build on what you said, first view of this, I went back and forth with decisions. I was like, this film is about going stir crazy. This film's about not minding yourself. This film's about being more obsessed with others than focusing on your own self. And then I went, oh no, he's definitely dodgy. And throughout the film, it went back and forth. And it's that, to be able to keep you guessing for the whole time. filmmakers nowadays will, I watch so many thrillers where I call it within the first 10 minutes, and then you're waiting 2 hours to be disappointed because you know the outcome. With this, a film from 1954, right up until the end, I'm like, is that still enough evidence that the ring's not on the finger? Is that still enough? And then he goes and says, yeah, I did it all. So he answers all the questions.
And the key to all of that was the sighting of a female character in dark clothes leaving the house at 6 a.m. That's the thing that allows you to have doubt. Other than that, you'd be all with Jeffries. This guy is guilty.
Yeah.
You know, because the wife looked very cruel towards him. Yeah. In the prologue, in the beginning of the film, you see this sort of husband that kisses his wife on the head, makes her dinner. She's just belittling him the whole time. Yeah. So you sort of watching it and think, well, of course he has. Yeah. Of course he's killed her.
Oh, she's doing my fucking head in.
But then when you see a woman leave at 6 a.m., you're like, oh, I don't know now. Yeah. I don't know. And that's excellent.
Yeah, see, I got confused because we're led to believe that the woman's almost bedridden because the food's brought in a couple of times. Then he's on the phone to someone and she gets up. So I'm like, oh, well, she's not bedbound then. So like you, when he's leaving the building with a woman, you're like, oh, well, hang on a minute. Is Jeffries onto something here, or is he a lunatic? Yeah. But yeah, just very, very clever filmmaking, and I just love how tense the whole thing was. I also love the set design. It's easy to forget the importance of a decent set design in a modern world of location shooting and CGI. I thought the set on display in Rear Window was stunning. Colourful, charming and chock-a-block full of character, the look and feel of a close-knit community was amplified by a set that almost looked like something out of a Wes Anderson film.
Yeah, it did.
It looked like a really top-tier theatre production that was a character within itself. That opening scene, the blinds come up, and it's not real, but it feels lived in. Yeah. It's so vibrant with the colours and the way it's arranged and stuff. I was like, wow, that's masterful. And it's something that, particularly now, I don't ever sit there and go, this is an amazing looking set. Because I don't know, I could be completely wrong here. It feels like sets being built for the purpose of a film are becoming less and less.
I'd say so.
Because of CGI, because you want that authentic location shooting. It's easier to shoot from all over the world now. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do location filming. Find a building that fits the purpose, you know. But yeah, that's what's lovely about it, because like you said, that's probably it's not something you're going to see very much of anymore. No. Like that's very old school filmmaking. And it was definitely influenced by stage and theatre. That's what they would have seen. I was going to say to you, do you think Hitchcock was a fan of Fritz Lang? When you were mentioning like he was a bit of a trailblazer, I wonder if he saw M and he like loved it. He must have. He must have seen it. He must have. Between shifts of him being locked up in his pupper prison, I'm sure he sat there and watched things like Fritz Lang's M. It must do. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because M came out in 1931. Yeah. Yeah, so he would have. Then this was made in 1954. Yeah. So it's 15 years. Yeah. So even to him, a film 15 years old, that's quite old. Yeah. Amazing. Madness, isn't it? What didn't you like about Rear Window? Playmobil helicopter shot. Yeah. If you can't do it, don't do it. Yeah. It didn't add to the film, it stole from it. Yeah, I don't know why they did it. No, I'm still confused. Was it just a random eye in the sky that just saw some topless beauties and was like, I'm going to stay here for a bit? Yeah, but I don't know if this is the correct word, the topographical or geometry of it sounds right. Didn't look right. Yeah. So the helicopter obviously ascends and descends vertically. The building was obviously either foregrounded or backgrounded in the same shot or drawn in, but it didn't look right. It looked like a moon lander just bouncing off the moon surface rather than coming down with gravity. Like it didn't look right, and I thought, why is that in it? Why do we need to see that helicopter? Yeah. Was it to try and add an open air feel to the set, because a set is a very closed space and all the lighting is artificial? There's no sun, there's no real sun in the film itself. And I just looked at it, it's shortly after the very opening when you see all the neighbours that are going to be involved throughout the film, and you see two women lay down and they remove their tops to get a suntan, then you just see this really hokey, almost a remote controlled chopper go, yeah, and that's the only thing in the film that didn't look right to me. I have a theory that is just being born unto thy brain just now. Oh, a new baby. Yeah, a new brain baby. A new brain baby, as you said that. I think the helicopter could illustrate the fact that there's more out there, because you've got a very isolated man watching a very isolated sort of scene. He's only looking into a certain number of houses and stuff, and he could be guilty of being sort of entrapped in that very enclosed environment. And that helicopter sort of signifies that you're only seeing what's here now. Jeffries is living in this now, but there's a whole world away from this that he's forgetting because he's so caught up in what is happening in his immediacy.
The sounds in the film are wonderful. There's cars passing, there's cats meowing and stuff. There's enough ambience there to have it. If you'd have just heard the helicopter and he looked up, great. Don't show it. It didn't look right. Especially in a film set film.
You didn't want to praise my newborn brain baby?
I liked your significance of the subtext of the helicopter, because what's the guy in the helicopter doing as well? He's looking down on them.
Yeah.
He's also being some form, or there's a hose pipe ban because the heat is up. The heat is on.
He's a peeping Tom from the sky.
From the sky. That sounds like a villain, a new villain.
I mean, I can't disagree with you. I'm normally the guy that sort of points out sort of problems because of the age of a film, whether that's acting or look or deliverance of lines or whatever. But yeah, that now you mention it, the inclusion of that really hokey helicopter, what does it do? It doesn't. No, you're right.
It doesn't do anything. And if there was intention behind it, like your beautiful brain baby, it was missed on me. It was lost on me. It was lost on me, mate. Third dislike?
Yeah.
Don't even fuck with someone's enjoyment with bacon. Old Stuart was about to tuck into some extra crispy rind, and Stella had to go and mention dismemberment. I said to the screen, "No, eat it, Jimmy. Come on, mate, eat it. That bacon looks so good."
Those bacon and eggs looked exceptional. But when he was scraping that plate, who cuts up a couple of eggs into loads of tiny little pieces, then ignores the egg, then goes onto the bacon?
I don't know.
No one. I know he's acting. He probably didn't want to eat 2 hot eggs, which I don't think it's not always the time for hot eggs.
I don't think the whole knife and fork thing either was big in America or for even the times globally. So they'd cut stuff up and then put their left hand down and then use their right hand to pick up food. So he cuts it up so the rest of the meal is an easy affair. Just a little dance.
Yeah, I like that little dance.
God.
But the scraping of the knife upon the plate, that's a dislike for me because it had me sitting there going, I hate that shit.
I hate that. It winds me up.
Yeah, don't waste good bacon, people.
Don't waste good bacon, people.
Yeah.
I've got a few more. Square footage. This film reminded me of how we still to this day live in such cramped quarters and surroundings.
Yeah.
Value for money is now included in the epitaph. Here lies a useless expression. It's just, there's not enough room in these people's houses.
There's not.
Old murdered his wifey.
Yeah.
Comes up the stairs, goes through a door into his living room and then goes through to a bedroom. I'm like, where is the rest of your house, man?
Yeah.
But obviously it's a 2D experience from
yeah.
the rear window. So you're not going to see the depth of their house. I did notice one thing, though. I don't know why I'm bringing it up. No, I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah.
So you know when he watches Thorwald cross the street, so he walks past an alley.
Yeah.
I timed it, man. He in like 34-minute 03 second or whatever it was, he's on the street and then the camera pans to the right and then he's at his front door within like 6 seconds. I'm like, big guy he is as well, carrying a silver briefcase. I don't think I could clear them stairs and be at my front door in 7 seconds.
And he doesn't strike me as the sort of guy that can bound on all fours.
No.
Like a wolfman dog hybrid to get up the stairs quick.
Which sort of proves there was no depth to the set because he just went up a set ladder straight into there.
Interesting.
But it wasn't, I couldn't time it. I wasn't there. I don't know. I could try and recreate it here. There's a couple of flights of stairs here and try and see how quick I can get upstairs without being a sweaty mess by the time I get to the bloody end.
That's a fun little project we'll do after this recording.
Real quick one. Lisa, don't waste your time with the cheap cuts. Go get yourself some fillet that's actually interested in you. I was annoyed. Annoyed that he was so dismissive of this wonderful woman who was intelligent and good looking and wanted a guy who doesn't look like he could produce babies anybody.
But do you know what I think?
What do you think?
That's probably why she wanted him. Because he was so like, I don't need you. And she's like, but everybody else does. Why don't you? And I think it's a case of like, he's like, but I want to be with you, darling. And he's like, yeah, but you're not going to roll up your sleeves, love. You're not going to eat fish.
He's exciting as well, isn't he? Because he's a prestigious photographer, war times and then post-war. So he's quite exciting.
Yeah, I think she obviously leads a high society lifestyle and he's more nitty-gritty camera lad that's going across the globe shooting things that, most people would be terrified by, and he's right in the thick of it. I think she's excited by that. she's excited by it, because that's almost a voyeuristic nature in itself. Him being a photographer, he's got that as a default setting anyway. Really.
Yeah, he's interested in capturing things.
Yeah, I did think that. I was like, Jeffries, you're a madman. You've got Lisa Fremont, Grace Kelly, stunning, confident, a woman with such a strong aura about her, like basically eating out of the palm of your hand, and you're so dismissive.
Yeah.
But then I do think that's probably why. Because he's not doting, he's probably so much more tempting to her.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously handsome. And I suppose...
Is he?
I think so, Jimmy Stewart, yeah. Do you know that man stopped after... He did, obviously, dozens of films. I think he finished on 80 filmography, but he stopped halfway through his films, then enlisted in the Air Force and flew B-25 or B-24 Liberators, I can't remember what they're called, over Europe in World War II, became a colonel, private to colonel, and then went back to do films. Celebrities back then were so much more interesting, more knightly. There was a real hero status to, like, there's so many actors that fought in World War II, and musicians and stuff. Like, nowadays, we're clapping because Leonardo DiCaprio wants to promote electric car racing. Fuck off.
Yeah, Tom, I've stopped drinking because I started drinking a bit too much when I was 24, but look at my story about being not an alcoholic, Holland.
Yeah, Russell Brand, I've been clean for 20 years. Now I just abuse women.
Yeah, what are you doing, Russell?
That's not confirmed. That was just a joke, just being playful, Russell. I'm being playful. Take it. You do it.
You're being voyeuristic in your little jokes.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. But you're right. Hollywood superstars back then certainly felt like they had a lot more to them.
Hell yeah. I'm done.
You done all your dislikes?
I'm done with my dislikes.
I delve into mine?
Yeah.
Noisy neighbourhoods.
Yeah.
As much as I loved the film, the set, the old school Hollywood performances, the dialogue, and everything in between, the busyness and boisterous nature of that housing estate was greatly triggering to me.
And it was hot.
The loud music at seemingly all hours, the noisy residents, the communal cross-housing conversations, and just the sheer amount of private behaviour showcased in front of curtainless windows irritated this introverted individual.
Yes.
I was just like, pull the curtains? I mean, don't get me wrong. Me watching Miss Torso doing her daily ballet exercises was delightful.
Yes.
Because I appreciate a good ballet dancer. Me watching...
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. Me peeking into a dog basket to be taking up flights of stairs instead of using stairs. I was like, that's delightful also. But the loud conversations, the music at 2:00 in the morning or whatever.
Nice music, though.
Yeah, but still, no music's nice when you're trying to sleep and it's too loud.
Yes, but it's much harder to self-hermitage when you don't have Netflix, podcasts, computer games.
I suppose,
Jim Stew got nothing.
Yeah, but I still don't. It's just too much going on, mate.
And because he is a gentleman, he's not just going to sit there rubbing one out for 24 hours a day.
I mean, we only see some parts of his day. We don't know what he's doing in other parts.
It's true. What's she rubbing on his back? What's wrong with his back?
I'm assuming it's where he's just sleeping in a wheelchair and he's not up and about. It's just, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I was just intrigued. I didn't
Muscle
know. At
relaxant?
first, I thought she was a masseuse. Like, she comes around to just give him a rub down and stuff. I didn't realise that she was there for some insurance. It's like she's a medical nurse to cash out or cash in on insurance claims. Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I also, my another dislike is the Simpsons parody.
Huh?
The Simpsons is responsible for approximately 67% of my popular culture knowledge and makes up about 43% of my everyday references and quotes. The episode where Bart breaks his leg and ends up spying on those using his swimming pool kind of ruined Rear Window for me because I was comparing the film to the parody rather than the other way round. Love The Simpsons, love Rear Window, didn't love that I knew the parody before the source material.
Well, what do you prefer, Jackson or Al Yankovic? Weird Al Yankovic, whatever his name is.
Jackson.
Well, there you go then.
I mean, that's
he parodied Eat It, Beat It.
Yeah.
But you still... But actually, I'd probably go Yankovic now.
I mean, now, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, who's the more talented musician?
Yankovic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's the more problematic person?
Jacko.
The less said there, the better. But that's just another diet dislike, because I saw that Simpson episode. In The Simpsons, they get a swimming pool. Bart's excited, jumps from his treehouse to try and get in the swimming pool. Misses, breaks his leg, has to spend the rest of the summer from his room. Then from his room, he spies on the Flanders because he's got nothing to do, and he suspects Ned killing his wife.
Oh, that's so cool.
But because I've seen that, and I've seen that episode so much, large part of this film, I couldn't help but reference the fucking Simpson episode.
I think that's amazing.
It is amazing.
Like Simpsons, hats off, for regurgitating pop culture from a time where your audience wouldn't even know what you were doing.
Yeah.
Like only the few adults that enjoy The Simpsons would understand them references.
I mean, most people that watch The Simpsons now probably don't understand that Simpson reference because it was in like season 6 or something, which was a good 25 plus years ago anyway.
Well, Family Guy's the same. I used to see people laughing at jokes in Family Guy, and I'm seeing the direct reference to a film I know that person hasn't seen. I'm like, what are you laughing at?
Yeah.
You've not seen Platoon. I don't understand what's going on. So it's strange, isn't it?
Because it's a strange dislike as well, because it speaks to the power of a film if it's then being referenced in sort of popular culture decades later. But it's just as soon as I see old Jeffries out with the binoculars, I'm taken back to Bart Simpson in Springfield, and I'm like, that's mad.
I've not even seen that episode, so that's information that I cherish, and I will try and find that episode.
Oh, we can watch it together after we've timed you running up the stairs. Final dislike: blonde bombshell's partner.
Stanley.
Yeah. Listen,
short, stumpy Stanley from the Signalling Corps.
Who's the guy from like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Rick Moranis.
Yeah,
it looked like him. Listen.
Hey, it's not always looks though.
Listen. Rear Window is way ahead of its time. Through the surveillance of strangers, it tells you that you shouldn't always judge a book by its cover, as well as telling you to listen to your gut. There is an absolute stone-cold stunner of a woman opposite the eagle eyes of L.B. Jeffries. He mistakenly identifies her as being a bit of a promiscuous party girl. He later learns that he is grossly incorrect, and she has a partner return home from some form of national duty at the end of the film. There is not a chance in hell that this woman is with the man she welcomes home. It is almost a breaking of the fourth wall, as there is not a world where those two are an item.
No, but that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. It's showing that there's more to her than meets the eye.
Yeah, but not that. Come on now.
Yes, but that's that. So that's cutting through the stereotype, isn't it? So she's stunning, she's good looking. The audience get two beautiful glimmering fruit bowl shots when she bends over. Amazing. And then Stanley comes in, you're like, oh, she loves him for who he is. And you forget this girl, she loves a sandwich. She loves a sandwich, Ad. She go into the fridge every 5 minutes. She come out with a dirty, greasy chicken leg.
I love a sandwich.
Yeah, I love it when a woman like that likes a sandwich.
Yeah, but maybe this makes me sound shallow, all of this, and maybe I am, but I'm simply not buying that those two are an item.
So where would you come between Jimmy Stewart and Stanley in the rankings of who could knock on that woman's door and persuade her to give him some chicken?
Me?
Yeah, where you come?
Well,
are you just above Stanley, below Jimmy?
I wouldn't even have the balls to knock on that door, I've got to be honest with you. But
she would have opened the door to no one, and he would have run past the alley.
I would have drunkenly written her a letter and posted it through her door and then run away going tee, and that would have been the end of it.
Adam love lettering.
Yeah. I would say I'm probably closer to Stumpy Stanley than I am to Jimmy Stewart, I'd say.
I'd say you're more like Forward, but not to look at.
Oh, just the murdering likelihood.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, no.
Yeah.
I'm oddly grateful and complimented by that.
Poor Stanley.
Maybe I should take a look at myself and seek help as well. I've got some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Which Hollywood couple would you like to spy on?
Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes.
I mean, yeah, same.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Like, without a doubt.
Do play down.
Just because they're both very, very talented individuals.
No, I want to see if he can navigate his kitchen with the close eye syndrome without knocking into chairs and shit.
I want to watch them fuck.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's thinking.
Yeah. Can I change my answer?
Yeah, go on.
To that?
Oh, what, you want to watch them fuck? But still Gosling and Mendes. Yeah. Listen, they're beautiful. Yeah. They're two beautiful individuals. and I reckon that their lovemaking is beautiful as well.
It's when Eva Mendes and the other guys is sitting at the end of the table, and you've got to sit there and believe that Will Ferrell's her husband.
I mean, it's...
And he's like, she looks a little shitty.
That's a great comparison to my having a problem with poor old Stanley and Miss Torso in this. They're two... Ferrell and Mendes, you look at them and go, that could never be a thing.
Yeah, but Will Ferrell's character broke her hip during coitus.
And that makes her go, yeah, I want to spend my life with this.
Yeah,
man.
he's a power dog.
He's a power dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a top power bottom dog.
Yep. What is the most shocking thing you have seen whilst being nosy?
My wife-beating neighbour chasing his girlfriend round a car whilst her little dog chased him.
I mean, that sounds like a Benny Hill sketch.
I mean, just like Adam's neighbours, we've got some neighbours that they're just pure domestic hate-love relationship. So the woman keeps coming back. She doesn't have to. He doesn't lock her in or anything. He's tried, but she managed to get out. And I was laughing. It was so funny. And she gets out, and she's got her own car, and she gets away. And then within 3 days, she's back. And then they have huge fights, smash up the kitchen. They break everything. He's knifed her car tire. She's done something to his car. She's broken up all of the plates in his kitchen. And so they fight a lot. And I looked out the window once during one of these huge fights, and the woman was running from him because she wanted to get in the car with the keys. So he was chasing her, but her little dog was chasing him. I was dying.
Mate, if you'd gone out there and started chasing the little dog, I would have died. Because just adding another chain. Yeah, I mean, they are nightmare. Both our neighbours are nightmares, peoples. And you might be out there listening going, maybe these guys are the problem. We're fucking not.
These two, though, it's fair to say, they're almost 50. They're about 45. No, well, she's 45. He's about 48.
They're full-grown peoples having teenage relationship arguments.
Literally.
It's a madness.
They have more tantrums than my 4-year-old.
Do you want to hear the most shocking thing I've seen whilst being nosy?
Yeah.
I saw a man die in a shopping centre.
Wait, from your house?
Not from my house. Never mentioned from house. I just said, what's the most shocking thing
Well,
you've
I
seen
would take
while
it from
being
house
nosy?
because of Rear Window. I've seen much more shocking shit than a guy chasing a woman getting chased by a dog.
Well, I didn't. Not once was house mentioned upon the question.
Okay.
I saw a man die in a shopping centre.
Fucking hell.
That was horrible.
Did you keep moving?
Well, it's worse than that.
Take a photo?
Worse than... It was before... I was a young lad, probably 13, 14, full of chubby boy.
Did you spit on his corpse?
No, we went walking into a shopping centre and you had like paramedics and people that were working in the shop sort of cordoning people off, and they had like curtains around this thing so you couldn't see. Me and my mate went out, ran to the other entrance of the shopping centre, went up the escalators, legged it to look over where this person was to see what was happening. Like this nosiness, like this whole film speaks of voyeurism and curiosity and just being interested in what's going on, seeing things you shouldn't see. We got up right to the top, looked over, and we saw him use the old defibrillator on this old fella. Didn't bring him back, pulled over the sheet over his head, the man died.
Jesus Christ, you should get put in a cell.
I didn't kill him.
Only thing I point out with that, if I was approaching it from a realistic perspective, man was fat and he said he ran up the stairs.
All right, man waddled. Is that what you want to hear? I walked with a bit more urgency while I was tucking into my Burger King and my KFC.
Are you athletic? I walk with urgency.
Yeah. If there's a man dying, I will walk with urgency to look at it. But yeah, that was the most shocking thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'd have so many other answers if it was done from shocking things you've seen.
That was the question.
I thought it was being nosy. I only take nosy from my house.
Okay. It's fair.
Out in public, everything's fair game.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, we've seen some things when we've been out and about, huh?
Oh, many's.
Yeah. Which Alfred Hitchcock film would you have liked to see at the cinema when it was first released?
Psycho.
Has to be.
It's got to be.
It's the only answer, really.
Imagine the twist as well, that he's being his mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Psycho.
Yeah, all day long.
And I hate to say this, I even enjoyed the bloody Vince Vaughn remake. I even enjoyed that, man.
Never seen it.
I did. It's scene for scene exactly the same.
I mean, if that's the case and you enjoy the original, then there's no reason why you shouldn't enjoy an updated version.
It's the story and the subject. It's like if you watch Manhunter and then watch Red Dragon. It's the same. The story's what's really selling it to you. and the sort of the twists and the thriller part of it. So yeah, I've liked every rendition of Psycho I've seen.
What would you rate Rear Window out of 10, please?
8.
8?
I think 8, yeah. Yeah. Playmobil helicopter. But I think it's tough. Right? It's not my 10 for him.
No.
It's not my one. Psycho will probably always be top tier for me. And yeah, I always enjoyed The Birds, because that's how... To take on a film about killer birds is an undertaking. Yeah. But I think 8, yeah, definitely. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it.
See, I've gone slightly higher, but only slightly. I've gone 8.5.
Yeah,
for me, it's not a 10. I mean, there are Hitchcock films that are a 10 for me, but I won't say which ones they are in case we end up doing an episode on them. And I'd like to leave an element of mystery.
Vertigo.
All right. Spoiler. Yeah, no, I'd go 8.5.
That's Jimmy Stewart as well, isn't it?
Vertigo,
yeah.
Is it Cary Grant? No, I think it is James Stewart.
Oh, no, you might be right.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're not film fans.
No, we don't have a film podcast.
No.
That gives Rear Window a total score of 16.5 out of 20. If you like your thrillers to be voyeuristic, visceral, and vehicled by a revolutionary visionary, or if you've ever wanted to see a pervy photographer peek at problematic peeps placing public performance over privacy, then Rear Window could be a film for you. Consider watching this one if you enjoyed Disturbia, Misery, and Vertigo. Should we play a game?
Give it a name, give it a name, give it a name now. We birth a plot and then make a trailer. What the plot?
Action! This week's What the Plot was sent over by Emma. Thanks for sending over your WTP, Emma. If you're a listener with a movie plot, please get in touch and let us flesh out your blockbuster brainchild and create a trailer for it. This is an animated family movie that is set in a suburban neighbourhood.
No.
In this close-knit community, there is a cat rota and kitty curfew in place because of a big bully cat called Pickles.
Wait. Are these cats?
Yeah.
The characters are cats?
They're cats.
Are they anthropomorph or on all fours?
Animated cats.
Okay.
I'd say, I don't know. This isn't my What the Plot, but I'm going to say on all fours.
Yeah,
Proper
good.
Cats.
A nice realistic cat.
Yeah.
I'm down.
A realistic cat called Pickles. Pickles patrols the streets every evening and makes life a living hell for other cats in the area. The cats in this suburban neighbourhood are so scared of Pickles that their owners have to ensure they are indoors whenever Big P is roaming the streets.
Big P.
Sick and tired of the tyrannical ruling of Pickles, a strong-willed young cat named Doris has decided to stand her ground and forms a team of fellow bullied cats to fight back. The story focuses on the importance of communication, standing up for what's right, the dangers of bullying, and offers an insight into why bullies often behave the way they do out of a lack of warmth and affection in their own lives. It is at this point that I would like to inform both you and the listener that this idea is formed from an actual anecdote from a real person, where a suburban community has a cat rota and kitty curfew in place.
Who?
It is a real thing.
So cats can't mix?
In this What the Plot is based on a true story of someone having to have an area, have a WhatsApp group to make sure that their cats are indoors because Pickles is out being a bastard.
So all his neighbours got together. They're like, right, we need to sort this out.
Yeah.
The meeting of the 5 families of cats.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think it's mad that this is actually happening, the fact that there is a cat rota and kitty curfew out there. And I just, What the Plot was a really interesting one sent over by Emma because it's what all good animated family films are. There's got a lot of messages there. It's about communication. Why is Pickles being a prick? Like, why Doris has decided to take a stand and push back on the kitty curfew?
I'm going to be the other way around today. I'm going to easily be able to cast it, easily be able to get a director and really struggle with the name. Because I'd want it to work. I'd want to play on words. Something pour your heart out, something tale related.
Okay.
A tale as old as time, as in a rota. I don't know. Look at me, I'm already jumping to the name of the film. Animated family film. I'm going to go on one of my favourite animations. I don't even know if the person would be able to do it because it's very different, but I like Sergio Pablos from Klaus. He did Klaus. The best animated Christmas film I've seen in years, and a touching film as well.
Fantastic.
I'm going to go with I might have gone with Mitchell and Machine's director, but no. I want to give Sergio Pablos, because if you haven't seen Klaus, watch it near Christmas. It's exceptional. I'm getting for Dirty Pickles. Is it Pickle the cat?
Pickles is the bully cat that has caused this cat curfew to be in place.
See, I'm watching a series at the moment called Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal, and there's an actor in it who just plays one of the best bad guys ever, really. Everything I see him in is exceptional. Peter Sarsgaard. So he's got, vocally, he has a really sinister high register to his voice. Like, it's quite ominous, but it's a high register. It's not a deep, low voice and stuff. So there's a bit of deviousness to him. We could play a great Pickles. I'm gonna stick to the animations I love, actually. So you might not have heard of Jessie Klein, but she does the voice of Jessie Glazer in Big Mouth. So she's the female lead in Big Mouth. She's a writer, director, and stand-up comedian as well. But she has does brilliant voice work. I'd have her as Doris.
Yeah.
Is that the girl's name?
That's the female cat that's taken Stan's name yet.
Oh, the rotor. Like, what? I need to find a way to put feline something involved with standing up to a bully. I will drag this out for 10 minutes.
That's fine.
To get the right title.
Let's work on it. Sometimes that's the beauty of the plot. Sometimes you get it straight away. Other times you have to go hunting for it.
A tale as old as allotted time. No. Paws. Do cats have paws?
Of course.
Or pads?
Paws.
Meow. Meow o'clock. No. Meow that hurt. No. Meow. No. Cat. Cat watch.
Cat watch. I'm happy with that.
No,
sorry, I just laughed because you went through cat meow, cat curfew.
Are they a neighbourhood watch of cats? So they've been told to stay indoors because Pickles is a dick.
Yeah.
So then they form a sort of magnificent seven to take down Pickles and his tyrannical ways.
Because it's a family film, I see them starting. That's that's what the idea of clubbing together is to fight Pickles. But then because it is a kids film that teaches about morals and lessons and stuff, maybe they learn that Pickles is a prick for reasons, and then they learn that he's only acting a certain way because of how Pickles himself is treated. So it could be a lot of food for thought and a lot of good storytelling there.
Well, I just typed in what's a group of cats called, and it's called a clouder.
Yeah.
Clowder. Clouder.
Okay.
Clouder. Group of cats is called a clouder if they seem to know one another. Formerly clodder in 18th century English, a group of cats unfamiliar to one another is called a glaring. Oh! And a group of kittens is either a litter or a kindle. Fucking hell. So, a clodder, 18th century, so a group of cats unfamiliar to one another is called a glaring.
But they're
and a clouder is when they are familiar. Can I call it the glaring clouder?
If you like.
As in, what Pickles is unfamiliar, they're familiar, and it's like a yin and yang. There's opposing forces. It's either going to be called the glaring clouder, or meow, or a tale as old as allotted time.
Okay.
Can you pick? Can you just pick one, please?
No, I'm having a fucking fantastic time.
Hey, Emma can fuck off, mate.
Go with what you think.
Glaring clouder.
Wrap it up.
I can't go back down that world. Okay, glaring. Directed by Sergio Pablos, who brought us Klaus, starring Peter Sarsgaard as Pickles the cunt cat, and Doris. Is it Doris?
Yep.
Is voiced by Jessie Klein from Big Mouth, and I'd call it the glaring clouder.
Pickles is the big cat on the block. He rules the roost, and the other cats of the community knows to stay out of his way. I'm Big Pickles, say. No one walks on my turf, you hear? I'm the top cat, say. What I say goes.
We're a clouder, not a glaring. We're stronger together, and we can stand up to Pickles.
A clouder of cats come together to stop the Big P. Will he learn to play with others, or is Pickles destined to stay on a lonely path? Say, you better follow the kitty curfew, say. Don't want Big Pickles around here.
Meow on 3. 1, 2, meow.
From director Sergio Pueblos comes a film about cats that club together. The Glaring Clouder, coming soon.